And welcome back to the round robin stream for Corsace Open 2023. This time we've got another matchup between GODFIELD Gaming and Allah Gaming. I cannot believe we got this matchup. This is the match of the tournament in the round robin stage. Once again, I'm Miles, joined by Chillier Pair, and we've got another match where the trend is going to go towards teams that are mostly coming from a single country. We've got GODFIELD Gaming being the traditional Japanese roster with Rollpan, Pop Art Town, also known as Tichi, Yama Darkness, also known as A Blue, Rikuima, Autoline, and Varvalian, up against Allah Gaming with Koda as the manager, joined by Flames Tier, Pinkus, Suzuha, who's going to be the anomaly here, being from Russia, Uenpris, and Wispy. So, got another pretty good matchup here in the round robin stage. What do you think about it, Chillier?
Yeah, I'm liking these two teams as an early stage map up here. Of course, Allah Gaming, average BWS rank 0, best team in the history of the world. They're so good, they don't even have a rank. This is two interesting teams here because this is also another set of two teams facing each other where the team manager is also a player. You've got Rollpan and Koda both participating and managing their respective teams. So kind of, the standard Corsace Open style 6, player team here. No extra player who doesn't have to worry about playing and can focus on strategy. And I think that'll work out for these two teams very well here. The previous match we commentated, it was two kind of country-based rosters facing off against each other. And this match, isn't entirely different here. You got GODFIELD Gaming, which is a full Japanese roster, of course, many players that you are very familiar with on their side. You've got a couple of name changes as well. I'm not sure how well Tichi is known for being known as Pop Art Town by now, but it's Tichi. So if you recognize that name instead, that's Pop Art Town. That's the only major name change I can really point out here on the side, unless you're familiar with Wenpris as Armani Dilbo instead, maybe, if you're part of the United States community. And that's on the side of course, Allah Gaming. Here they have majority United States roster here, with the one notable exception being Suzuha from Russia. So primarily country-based rosters here. I think that does help with team cohesivity in some ways. If you play with players a lot, or you're familiar with them, or you're just friends from hanging out all the time in the same community. I think it does improve your team performance in some cases to just be able to kind of bounce jokes off each other mid-match maybe, or have a little bit more information about your teammates right off the bat. That may have an effect on the outcome of this match. Both of these teams have not played a single matchup so far in this stage, so we're looking for their first round robin win or loss on either side here as well.
And these teams are all very, very seasoned tournament players. If you pay attention whatsoever to the international tournament scene, you have seen these players a lot. But one thing I'd like to note about the Japanese tournament community in particular, they tend to be a little bit secular. You see a lot of them stay mostly in Japanese tournaments, apart from these massive tournaments where they like to sign up together. So not exactly sure what to see from a lot of these Japanese players, but knowing these guys, this is the team of Japanese players. Tons and tons of World Cup experience. I think multiple years on everyone there except for Rikuima on the Japanese OWC roster. So gonna be looking for them to show up here up against this Allah Gaming roster.
Yeah, this will be a good matchup all around. I don't really foresee any major slip-ups happening from these two teams to the detriment of their possible scores. I don't really see major breakpoints right off the bat here. You do have some very strong players on either side, especially for these early stage map pools, and that does come into play in a lot of times like this. When you're sitting at this mid to high 6-star range here, this is very accessible for players of this rank and skill range. This is their bread and butter. This is where most players kind of from that 800 down-ish range, plus or minus 400 ranks, are really going to be comfortable FCing a couple of these maps, or at least setting 400,000 to 500,000 scores ideally on this. You do have a couple notable exceptions in this map. Rollpan is a ridiculously good player, known for their consistency and skill cap across all tournaments we see them in. Varvalian as well, a staple of the Japanese tournament community, plays a little bit less actively in tournaments than we, used to see Varvalian, but I think he'll still have it in him to continue. On the side of Allied Gaming, you're very much running more on that tournament consistency side. You've got Flames tier, Koda, Pinkus, Suzuha, Emperor. Honestly, everyone on their team is pretty much kind of filling like that good consistency range, good experience, going to be comfortable across the board, varying skill sets on all of their players, and that might give them some versatility potentially in this match.
Yeah, looking at skill sets for these two teams, I think that GODFIELD Gaming might be a little bit favored on the reading. I'm not sure who on Ala Gaming is going to take up that third player or fourth player, actually, for some of the reading maps in this pool. Definitely going to be looking at players like Koda, Wispy, and Uenpris, but outside of that, not exactly sure who to really look at on the reading. And then speed as well, going to be very contested between these two teams. But one thing that I think has been a little bit of kind of a stigma towards Corsace map pools in the last few years has just been the overemphasis on some more techie, more gimmicky skill sets. So I think GODFIELD Gaming having the advantage on that is going to be massive for them in this matchup. But we're about to get into the pick ban phase, so we're going to see who opts in to what for their bans. I think Ala Gaming probably going to ban out one of the reading picks, maybe that Hidden 2, maybe that DT3, but we're going to see. They're taking their time here with us.
Yeah, I definitely don't know if they're going to look into the reading. They do have a player like Koda on their roster who is definitely the best on their side for reading. Unfortunately, I'm not really seeing any player on here that could confidently back him up to the point that they could fill 4 slots with reading players. They're going to ban the DT2. That's an interesting one. It's understandable. I get that.
I don't get that. I feel like they have a really strong speed roster, don't they? With Flames tier, Suzuha, Pinkus, Uenpris. I think they could be pretty strong on that map.
I think the difference is DT, a lot of the aim roster on the side of AG is very aim DT oriented, not tapping DT oriented. And I think if, DT2 requires a little bit too much of that, tapping hand, you may see some issues from their side on that, and maybe they just don't want to chance it against this Japanese team who has a lot of good tapping players. Again, I still think reading. Okay, GODFIELD's banning reading. What's happening?
I might be insane. By the way,
are these flipped?
I'm not sure.
Are these bans flipped? Are they...
Either these bans are flipped or I am just flat out insane. Yeah, banning.
I just know nothing.
I think I know nothing, actually.
We know nothing, apparently. I'm so confused. I totally could have, seen both of these bans being flipped, and I would have said, oh, yeah, perfect, easy.
Yeah, I was thinking, like roll pan, auto lean is just, so good on the reading that I wasn't sure that they would ban that.
Do they, there is genuinely, I don't know if I just am not familiar with, Suzuha maybe being, a demonic reading player or something, but when I look at this AG roster and all of the Americans I know on here, I mean, Koda's the reading player that sticks out to me. Everyone else here that I can see is a mechanics player. So...
Wispy.
I mean, Wispy can do reading, I guess. Yeah, that's right. Calvin Wynn's known for being able to go, but even, is it reading or is it hidden in general? I can't tell.
I think it could be more hidden in general, but we're gonna see the first pick come out for GODFIELD Gaming. It's gonna be that DT1 Senya satellite custom, so representing Japan. Makes a lot of sense for them to pick this.
They're going in.
With that DT2 being banned, GODFIELD Gaming gonna go straight into this map, which we saw Swaglords put up an insane performance on last match. 4.3 million. We're going to see if either of these rosters are up to the task of maybe matching that.
Yeah, I think we're going to have really good rosters on both sides for this pick here. GODFIELD Gaming, I think Rollpan will be great at this. You've got Varvalian, you've got Altaline, you've got Tichi. All of these very, very good, fast players in the lobby that are going to be so comfortable on a DT1 like this, kind of, and a bit of an older map too. So I think a lot of players may have played this map before, and I think that kind of adds to how comfortable. Oh no, this is just a new version of a map that has the exact same background and looked exactly the same as the other one that I know.
Yeah, Chillier, I remember when we were test playing this, I saw this map in the pool and I thought they were just taking one non-custom for this pool, and I thought it was this map, but Satellite remapped this year in almost the exact same style as his older version of this, and it is just so cool.
That threw me off so much, too, because I was like, oh, yep, Satellite, Senya, this song, this background, perfect, easy, known map, but it looks so similar. Oh, that's kind of sick, though. I love that.
Yeah, it's insane.
And then, of course, on the side of AG here, you've got a good DT roster as well. Suzuha, I think, going to be a big DT player for them. Of course, single Russian on the side there. You'll have Pinkus, you'll have Flames tier, and I imagine Wenpris is going to be that last slot for them on the DT pick here. Both of these sides have some room to play with.
Yeah, and obviously, one thing that I pointed out last match is I think this DT1 is probably the most comfortable map in this pool. So we're going to see some maybe more fill-oriented DT players be a lot more comfortable on this. And as we can see, the rosters are set. Coda going to be in for a DT pick. That's something that's pretty rare as he already finds a slider break. But otherwise, it's going to be Varv, Yama Darkness, Rikuima, and Pop Art Town up against Wenpris, Flames Tier, Suzuha, and Coda.
Huh. All right. You know what? I thought Pinkus would be really good at this type of map, but maybe he's not feeling too good on some of these bursts here. Coda's still a very capable DT aim player. While he does have some tendencies to struggle on longer bursts, I think this map is definitely comfortable enough for him to handle. So I don't really have as much issue on this. Unfortunately, he's missing on aim, so maybe the AR giving him some trouble. Wenpris found a break as well, and this side of the Japanese roster here as comfortable as we would have expected them to be. Valiant's going to under-aim on the top left, unfortunately, though. Going to drop their first combo, but it's Rikuima, Yama Darkness, and Pop Art Town to hold the 3 FCs down for them. It's just Flames tier now for AG already.
Yeah, this lobby already looking a lot less comfortable than our last lobby on this map, but still going to be a quite strong advantage for GODFIELD Gaming, still holding on to the 3 full combos, while it's only Flames tier with a bunch of re-established combos on the side of Ala Gaming. But with the re-established combos, those drops coming early, if GODFIELD Gaming does find some breaks towards the middle of the map, and there's the first one from Yama Darkness, Ala Gaming is going to start to have an opportunity to bring this back.
That's a bad slider break from Yama Darkness. I was about to say, actually, GODFIELD Gaming had a very reminiscent performance of the Canadian team in our last match, kind of with like that early break from Varvaliant and the 3-way FC, but Yama Darkness dropping it just shows maybe a little bit less confident throughout the length of this pick, being able to maintain that combo. Fortunately for them, Coda really not able to hold a consistent combo or accuracy across this pick here. And, that does make you wonder, do they even have Pinkus today? Is that why they kind of have a fill slot here? But, enough for speculation here. The other 3 players on the side of AG doing a good job maintaining these combos. So they're holding this down a little bit, unfortunately, versus a double FC and some good supporting combos. It's difficult, but there goes Rikuima.
Yep, that's the break that AG needs. They've got the backing combos to start to hit at this lead. Only about 100k score lead for GODFIELD Gaming, so you're going to see who breaks in this more difficult section. Longer bursts are about to come up. Oh, but there goes Wenpris. That lead is going to stay right where it is now. GODFIELD Gaming going to be strong enough to run this one into the last chorus, I think. But it's actually starting to go back in favor of AG still. Only about 100k lead. It's going to matter who breaks in this last quarter because it can go anywhere at this point.
Yeah, Flames tier and Pop Art Town, they're the big combos right now. Varvaliant and Suzuha matching each other. The big difference right now is Yama Darkness and Rikuima just outscoring Wenpris and Coda with their performances here. Rikuima matching Wenpris' combo, and Coda again just continuing to find breaks, looking to not even put up a 400,000 score here. Very much struggling on the bursts. You can see the cursor shake on the longer bits, and there goes the supporting combo from Suzuha. Flames tier, no help with the FC. Oh, and Pop Art Town breaks with Requima too. It was totally possible, but Varvalion's going to hold it down into the ending here, despite the early break in this map with fantastic accuracy to match up to Flames here, who is really trying his best. What a good score from him, but not enough.
Yeah, 99.45% for Flames here on the side of AG, but at the end of the day, it's just not going to be enough. A stronger team performance for GODFIELD Gaming, and despite that insane accuracy FC for Flames tier, he's just not going to have the help, and GODFIELD Gaming going to take their first pick.
Man, what a performance from Varvalion. Now that's the Varvalion that I remember. Early break, aside, 99.75, 4 100s. Varvalion, he's like the infamous Japanese tournament player. There has just been almost no players in the other history of that country that have just been as dominant as Varvalion has across the scene, at least that I can remember in recent histories. And, he continues to deliver as good as their community maintains to be here. And we're going to get the first point on the board for GODFIELD Gaming here. Absolutely stellar performance from their carry. Expecting more big things out of them. I'm also very interested to see some roll pan performances. Also another player that's always great to watch in matches. Great consistency across multiple slots here. Very unfortunate for the side of Ala Gaming, especially Flames tier. Such a comfortable player on a map like that, and unfortunately really didn't have much backing score behind that. Suzuha tried to put something up there, and again, I speculated earlier, but I wonder, do they have Pincus today? I mentioned it in the map. Pincus, I genuinely thought would have been their fourth for that map. He's a comfortable DT player. Coda has to have been a fill for that. That is just not his skill set. So, I'm hoping for them in the remainder of this match, they at least have something for DT.
Yeah, but I mean, having to put in Coda for a DT, that is just not what you want to see. Pincus definitely is not here for this match because I think there is no universe where Coda should have played that map. But still, pick now on the side of AG, going to see what they decide to go for. With Flames here playing as well as he has, maybe going to opt into something he's going to be good at. And Freemod 2 is exactly what I was thinking. This is a skill set where AG is going to be able to draw on their strong modded roster. Maybe Coda is going to go for the hidden on this one, Flames here on the hard rock. But this is definitely the approach that I would take up against this GODFIELD Gaming team.
Yeah, this is a good route for them. We saw this a very similar scenario in the previous match that we had watched between, in my opinion, and Swag Lords, where one team was favoring towards mechanics and the other team kind of favored to the other side. And you do tend to see this kind of polarizing picking strategy, for these early stage matchups where the teams are very confident in one specific skill set at this range. So I'm liking this pick from them. Mods are going to be an interesting one for the side of AG, just because of the fact that they're missing a player like Pincus, again, I mentioned, who I believe would just be their best hard rock player on something like this. So maybe Flames tier coming in to just pick up the bits there.
Yeah, totally. I think this is going to be a pretty mod-friendly map. I think that both teams are going to have no issue putting up 4 strong players on the hidden hard rocks and the nomads, but still for AG, I think having that 4-man comfort is just something that they didn't have on last map. And to be frank, if they had that 4-man comfort on that map with maybe Pincus playing instead of Coda, that map becomes a lot more winnable. So being able to have 4 comfortable players in the lobby should be able to make a difference for them on this pick.
Well, we'll see what happens here. We got Pincus in the chat trying to discover whether or not they are in attendance for the match or whether or not they are away for reasons. Oh, he is currently in. So they do have Pincus today, it seems.
Okay, well, maybe...
Which makes me question the DT1 roster even more.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I guess sometimes it just happens, maybe the timer was getting run down. It was just, someone get in the lobby, and Coda just being that guy, but never know. So, gonna see how this pick goes once we get into the lobby. Looks like players gonna take their time forming their rosters for this one.
Yeah, they're definitely going to try and solidify these here. AG want to get this early pick on the board here, especially just given the fact that on Godfield Gaming, this Japanese roster is so good on mechanics that does give AG a little bit of trouble in this match here. While they do have a very good mechanics roster, it provides them a little bit more of a challenge than anything. And there he is, Pincus. He does end up taking the Hard Rock. I did mention we're going to see a little bit of an overmod actually coming out on the side of Japan, just with Pop Art Town on the hidden Hard Rock here, going a little above and beyond. I think that's just more of maybe a preference thing, maybe than just the overmod, which is very understandable. You see a lot of Hard Rock players maybe opt in for the hidden normal mods on the side.
Actually, overmod on both sides. We have 2 Hard Rocks coming out from AG here.
Very
Pincus and Flamesteer going on the Hard Rock. Only Wispy going to be holding Nomod for them. But yep, already seeing some breaks from Flamesteer on the side of AG.
Dude, look at the reverse, is so cool. That looks awesome. They're like mirrored.
Oh yeah, with the mods.
Oh, that's so cool. More people should do that. Same like Altaline and Varvalion. They should have flipped Altaline and Varv slots so that it was perfectly like mirrored on both sides. That would have been so cool to watch. Actually, all the slots are almost perfectly mirrored because Pincus and Pop Art Town are moving in mirrored of Yama Darkness and Coda too. Actually, every slot is mirrored. Yo, this is cool. All right, back into the map. I just noticed cool stuff. Flamesteer taking the other Hard Rock along with Pincus, we kind of mentioned earlier now. A lot of breaks on both sides here. Unfortunately for the side of AG, it is going to result in them losing the score lead early on here. Pop Art Town and Varvalion on the Hard Rock for the side of Godfield Gaming looking strong. It is just Coda, but there goes Varvalion and Pop Art Town.
It looks like Coda now has the opportunity to redeem himself after that last map on the hidden, looking so strong. He finds the break on the cross screen though. Wispy is going to be able to hold on to it though for the side of AG along with Flamesteer on the Hard Rock. So I was getting worried while we were talking about how the mods are mirrored. Godfield Gaming had taken quite the lead on their opponent's pick, but now AG gonna look to run into the ending in this with a 200,000 lead and enough to convert on their first pick as breaks come in from basically everyone on Godfield Gaming except for Varvalion.
Such a good recovery from the side of AG here. Flamesteer looks to be having trouble with Hard Rock at the beginning, but has ended up putting almost the top score up on their team by the end here. A great recovery there. Good 500k scores from all the other teammates in Coda who held it down at the beginning. Does Flamesteer get the top score by the ending? It's gonna be close on that one. He does by like 320 points. He gets the top score on their team at the ending. Wow. Coda did a great job holding that down at the beginning, and Flamesteer with the ending score really driving home how confident they were on that one. Varvalion trying to do what he could with that 600k, and you've also got the combo on Pop Art just not quite being enough to give them the solid victory on that one. 500,000 score difference between the two teams here, and AG takes their first point nicely.
Yep, now all even at 1 apiece. Pitt goes back in the ballpark of Godfield Gaming, though. And with that DT2 banned, they have 1 DT remaining if they want to opt into that. They have DT3, the map that has a 9 out of 10 on the Fours offensive scale. So that's a map. That map is just crazy, the DT3. Like, you've never seen a swing pick be integrated into the DT pool before. But there's the Freemod 1 pick going to come out from Godfield Gaming, so they're going to opt into another type of speed, this time the Freemod speed. So we're going to be able to see some more mod-friendly rosters here, I think, from AG, with maybe Coda, if he has to play speed once again, going to be able to take that comfort hidden. So going to be, I think, a little better for the side of AG when compared to that DT1. We're going to have to wait and see.
Yeah, definitely interested to see, Godfield Gaming kind of branching out here with their picks. They're really looking for, a couple different routes maybe in this match. Good pick again. They look for the mechanics here. Fairgos more aim oriented here, but you've got that kind of like drum and bass, kind of like breakcore-y style of map here. And again, I think this is something they're just going to be very consistent at, very good to run through this, kind of like the motions here, maybe broaden their options, especially just, away from the standard, like we pick all the aim and stream maps kind of mechanics team here, because they do have a good roster for other picks as well. Again, I mentioned I would like to see a little bit of some roll pan gameplay today. Always exciting to see him just demolish ridiculous maps.
Yeah, Rollpan, one of the longtime tournament players in this game. That guy's been going crazy since he had his old username, Shirasaka Kome. You might recognize that name if you watch any OWC like 2016 or 2017 highlights. But that guy's been going at tournaments for over half a decade, and always love to see him still sticking around in the scene. But I'm going to see if he does play any maps today. I know they did ban that Hidden 2. If that Hidden 2 did get picked, we know that Rollpan would go in and smack it down just like it was 2017, where he was doing the same thing.
Yeah, we'll look to see that again. We mentioned at the beginning, we kind of said the same thing about Varvalian, right? Like, not quite playing as much as we used to see Varvalian in the international scene, but he very much is still, kind of with it in his skill. He looked very good on that DT1, and I imagine there other players going to help support him on this one. No roll pan in for the Freemod 1 pick either, but it's all right. They've got a great roster, running with a very similar roster that we saw on the previous pick with the Freemod as well. I think both sides, with the exception of Coda for Wispy and Suzuha for Pincus on the side of AG here.
Looks like we're seeing a few breaks out of the beginning. Yep, it is breakcore time, and when you see breakcore and you see Fergus as the mapper, you know you're going to see this distinct mapping style that he has kind of coined as his own. Made customs for a ton of different tournaments in this style. Seeing a lot of trouble come out for Pop Out Town in the beginning, down at 93%, has found multiple breaks, and that's going to be giving AG the early lead. Despite the breaks coming out from Wispy and Flames here, it's actually going to start going back in favor of Godfield Gaming very slowly, because they still got the 3 FCs going despite the troubles for Pop Art Town.
Very good confidence from both sides here overall. Little bit, again, the couple breaks for AG. Not going to do them any favors here, but there's plenty of map left to go here. The big bit is going to be the mod players holding on both sides here. It does get a little bit more difficult on the ending of this pick, especially maintaining Yama Darkness. Going to find a bit of a misaim on the hidden. Suzuha too.
Suzuha on the slider, Suzuha. That's not a break you want to see. They've got an 85,000 score lead on their opponent's pick, and that's something that I think is going to be very important if they can hold on to this, get a break point against this Godfield Gaming roster. It'd be absolutely huge. It's only Varvalian and Rikuima holding on to it for Godfield Gaming, and the breaks start to come out for more players. There goes Yama Darkness and Wispy. That lead is going down so quickly now, only around 10,000. It's going to go back in favor of Godfield Gaming very shortly now. Into the last quarter of the map. Any breaks now are going to mean the world.
Oh, Suzuha finding another break. They're not doing AG any favors to hold this combo down. It's Wenpris trying to do whatever they can. Fantastic accuracy on the side, as well as Flames here with the Hard Rock, but Varvalian and Requima with such good FCs. Accuracy suffering a little bit on Requima here, but Varvalian holding it down a little bit better. Pop Art Town with a good supporting score, and it is going to continue going over to their side as a confident point once again is going to look to come out from Godfield Gaming here. What a performance once again from Rollpan, 99.19% accuracy, the second highest in the lobby. Wenpris with that hidden FC on 99.39 and a full combo perfect for both of them. So Wenpris and Varvalian, man, pulling the weight there. Great scores.
Yeah, Yakipan, Varvalian, 7 100s, 550s. Don't know where those came from, but still an FC from him, very strong. And that hidden FC from Wenpris, just once again, not having any help. That low score from Wispy, I think, making the difference. Only 200,000 score lead for Godfield Gaming, just a little bit more for AG. They could have taken that pick, but once again, it is still technically even. As long as AG can convert on this pick, they'll still be right where they want to be in this matchup. Speaking of which, where do you think they go from here in terms of picks? They've got Nomod 5 open for reading if they want to go for that.
Yeah, this was something that I was kind of worried about. And again, I was surprised that they banned the DT2 instead of the Hidden 2 on the side of AG, right? Because, while you do have Coda on the roster for, reading picks and, Wispy can, maybe pull up a little bit of a score as well, they have very little ways to fill in those last 2 slots across the board here for the reading maps. And that does concern me for them potentially. Maybe gonna try and look for an alt favored map for them in here. Something along the lines of maybe Hard Rock 1 could potentially be very good for them. I think they have a great alt roster. So that's probably what I would imagine they look for here. But we'll see. We'll see. I think they do have some variability here. They do have a good mechanics roster if they want to just like keep Coda not in the lobby. The DTs are sort of accessible for them. I know they lost the DT1, but I think they do have a good DT roster if they can get something that Pincus is comfortable with, because Flames tier seemed exceptionally comfortable. Suzuha put up a decent score as well, and they are going to go the DT route. They're going to go in for the DT3 here.
Yep, this is one hell of a map, this DT3. Swing in DT. This is a skill set that you rarely ever see. I know I mentioned it before. Like, you typically see like maybe an alt map or a tech map be in this DT3 slot when you only have 3 DTs, but a map like this, I don't know what to expect. I think we're going to see a lot of low scores on this one.
Yeah, this one is going to be... This is going to be more polarizing, I think, than DT1, right? Like, this is going to weed out the players who don't play DT more than DT1. DT1 was a little more comfortable, a little more accessible across the board. AR 10.2, does kind of prevent players who can't really read high AR from playing it, and I think that may potentially be what happened to Coda, because I think he can play the aim, he can play sort of the tapping, but maybe just not quite as comfortable with that. But this AR is lower, but you're looking for more of that DT favored overall slot here. And that's going to be good, I think, for AG here. I think they have a lot more just speed favored players in general. Again, I do think they're going to need to see a big step up from like Wenpris, who didn't have as good of a time on DT1 as he might have wanted to. Definitely a much more confident speed player than what was let on in that, as well as a couple of the other breaks actually that we saw from AG. I do think they are better at this skill set than DT1 represented. But I do also think that GODFIELD Gaming represented exactly what they could do well as well. So they're going to have to kind of combat both ways here. We're getting an early abort, I think, for the match here. It looks like AG had a disconnection from Coda very early on.
And this is a map, I think it's really hard to make really strong rosters for this map. You see Autolean coming in for GODFIELD Gaming. You wouldn't necessarily see him come in for many other types of DT maps. Not necessarily a speed player, but on a more gimmicky map like this, definitely expect to see a player like him enter.
Looking for map start here after we fix up these players. Looks like we're getting back into it. So it's Coda, Wispy, Suzuha, and Flames tier. Again, understandable DT roster for 3 slots on AG at least. Coda definitely going to be better at this type of DT slot than the DT1, very much so. So this is a much more understandable roster pick here if he's comfortable on this. Now, with that being said, he did struggle immensely on the DT1, which is still in the same difficulty range. So we'll hope that there's a better performance coming out here as well. On the side of GODFIELD Gaming, this is definitely less their DT skill set than DT1 in terms of the base mechanics DT. So, we'll see if that makes a difference for them on this map as we proceed through with this pick.
Yep, we see some breaks out of the beginning into the first rhythm part. Suzuha, Wispy, and Flames here all dropping for AG, along with Coda as well just a bit earlier. So it's going to be Yama Darkness and Autolean to pull this lead forward on their opponent's pick into the first bridge section here. Massive combo lead for GODFIELD Gaming, actually. They're going to be able to accumulate quite the lead for being their opponent's pick, actually. Not what you want to see for AG, but they continue to find breaks. Wispy and Flames here both dropping once again as no breaks come in to match it for GODFIELD Gaming.
Yeah, this is, kind of an unfortunate scenario for AG here. Definitely a pick that I think they're going to want to look comfortable on, especially this early on in the match. And to find a lot of breaks and, to look like the majority of your roster is not quite as comfortable on this as you'd want is definitely a rough thing to go through here. You do see a break from Yama Darkness, though, so that's going to be a little bit of an avenue back into this, as well as Altaline. So you've got two major breaks there, dropping those big combos.
Yeah, you've got Pop Art Town getting through that KI section, still holding on to the FC though. 640 combo. Flames Tier trying to pick up the pieces for AG by himself. 400 combo with some reestablished combo from Coda and Wispy, but that's still not going to bode well for them. Still 160k score lead for GODFIELD Gaming, with Autoline and Varv coming back with the big combos. There goes Autoline though, but it's traded with Flames Tier, so that's the biggest combo for AG gone as well. So Pop Art Town, if he can get through this pattern, he's going to be able to have another slow part to build some combo up, and he does get through it. So he's got the lobby in his hand right now.
Yeah, you hit that big wiggle. Accuracy aside, he does have the highest score in the lobby here. Wispy trying to put up some comfortable combo here. Coda's going to find a break on a Buzz Slider there, unfortunately, as well as another break on that pattern there. So that's another double break on the same player for AG here. Not going to help their comeback at the ending here. And I'd say,
what did everyone break on?
What just happened? Susan Hunt, Flames Tier, Altaline, and Pop Art Town all just broke on one pattern.
I don't even know what that was. Was that like a Buzz Slider or something?
It's Wispy time.
Can Wispy take it back on his own with 700
I don't think he can. I don't think he can. He needed ACK. Yeah, his ACK is not good enough. Man, what just happened?
Everyone just died. Wispy dropped his combo as well by the end, so it is going to be a break point for GODFIELD Gaming now. Go up 3-1. The DT3 pick backfiring massively for AG on this one.
Man, that was such an interesting series of breaks at the ending of that pick. So many players getting caught on the same combo there. And Wispy, unfortunately, even though he had that massive combo into the ending there, not quite enough to bring it back for his team, as Pop Art puts up a 500,000 plus score into the ending of that map there. What an impressive performance to bring GODFIELD Gaming to a very comfortable score margin by the ending of that DT3 pick. And that's the break point that AG did not want to see this early on in the match. You expect teams to put up their confident picks earlier on, and to see them lose a map like that this early is definitely not the scenario that is ideal for them as they go into GODFIELD Gaming's next pick here, which they have looked very confident on across their own picks here, putting up 1 to 2 FCs potentially on the majority so far here. AG gonna have to look for a break point. Now, again, we talked about this in the previous match. One break point really doesn't mean a whole lot, but we are in a best of 9, and that means that they have less possible slots in order to kind of flip this match back in their favor. So AG can win the remainder of their picks, but they do still need a break point now in order to force this match to tiebreaker. And GODFIELD Gaming looking to consolidate it now with this Nomod 3 pick in here. This is going to be another completely different area of the pool here. We talked about how the Japanese team here was really favored towards mechanics, and they're really good at all that sort of thing, but they also have a good gimmicky roster, a good roster of some kind of, less basic maps in here. And again, I've been talking about potentially getting the chance to see Roll Pan in for a map, and I think this Nomod 3 may potentially be the first opportunity for him to kind of jump into things here. On the side of AG, they have a good roster of players that could maybe compete on this. Of course, Coda and Wispy, the two players we've kind of mentioned, who are the less base mechanics favored roster, and more going into this Nomod 3 style pick in here. But again, finding another 2 after that in order to come back into this with a full roster, going to be a little interesting. I imagine some combination of maybe Pinkus, Wempris, Flames Tier, definitely more base mechanics, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah, I mean, Nomod 3, this map isn't as gimmick heavy as I think you were trying to mention. I think this map more aim focused when put on the scale of alt maps, comparing them to some of the more, I think the more gimmicky ones going to feature a lot more finger control than this one, while this one's really just a lot of aim, I think. But still going to be something that I think both teams have a good shot on. I think maybe the roll pan sighting could happen on this map, but not exactly sure. Teams are taking a while to put their teams in the lobby, so can speculate a little more about that. Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Also, I should correct really quickly. I know we mentioned it a very long time ago. I said that both of these teams were on a clean slate. That was actually a bit of a misstep on my part. GODFIELD Gaming actually does already have a win under their belt, actually by forfeit on their first match. So to correct, GODFIELD Gaming already has a win, albeit they did not have to play in order to get the win. They do still have a 1-0 scoreline, and now, this is good for them, actually. And what this kind of means is that while it would be great for GODFIELD Gaming to win this and go 2-0 up, AG losing this does not make too much of a difference still because they have no matches so far, so this is still their first map on the scoreline. Just a quick correction before we get too far into kind of the meat and bones of this map here.
And GODFIELD Gaming going up 2-0 is going to give them a pretty good position to maybe get out of this group on top, but still got a lot of time left. AG can still come back into this. As we can see into the first chorus of this map, they are actually still in striking distance, only 20k score in favor of GODFIELD Gaming, but they need to see some breaks from them if they want to have any chance of taking break points. Still on 4 big combos, Varvalian breaking on like the first pattern, but still holding 3 FCs otherwise.
I feel like we've seen that a lot from Varvalian. Like missing early and then FCing the rest.
Yeah, the nerve miss. The miss to kill your nerves. It's a very valid strat. It looks like Varvalian utilizing it to its maximum potential.
Yeah, it looks to be so, and it's worked well for him in this match so far. I mean, we've seen, what, 3 maps now where Varvalian has missed early on in the map and has basically full comboed the entire rest of the pick. Oh, another tragic break on the side of AG here, and that is now down once again to Flames tier for them. The player who has definitely been their rock in this match so far in terms of overall performance here, trying to make something work as Pincus finds another break on that pattern. We maintain basically what is a 4-way FC for GODFIELD Gaming here.
Yeah, Flames tier, not really necessarily one of the players to look to on these Nomod alt maps, but trying his best. And here comes 2 breaks for GODFIELD Gaming. Autolean and Yama Darkness finding the drop. Oh, but there goes Wispy. The second biggest combo on AG is now gone. And Flames tier stands alone as arguably the fill player on a roster for Nomod alt. He is still holding on to the FC. He finally drops it, but still Varv and Pop Art Town going to be holding on to it for GODFIELD Gaming. Now almost 400k in the lead. They are going to comfortably run into the ending on this one.
Yeah, you know, Coda and Pincus found breaks alongside Flames tier, which is just not doing them any favors as well. Luckily for them, Autolean is finding a couple of extra breaks here through this pick, but you know, again, it's kind of surprising to see, you know, the performances across this roster. I'm not surprised to see Flames tier doing well. I'm surprised to see that Pincus and Coda are struggling on this pick more than anything. That's kind of where my mind is sitting right now. Varvalian, Pop Art Town being those 2 main carries right now for GODFIELD Gaming, looking so confident on this pick. Varvalian with, you know, minus, 30 combo from the beginning, basically an FC, 99.31% accuracy, more than making up for that. And, you know, supporting scores on Autolean and Yama Darkness, while they're not huge, are enough. Varvalian's going to chain this, so it is just going to end up being Pop Art Town into the ending of this pick, potentially looking for that final glory of a full combo as we get into the last pattern here. Big aim, and it gets Pop Art Town gets it. What a performance.
906,000 score lead on a Nomod map. That is the definition of domination.
And he's gone immediately.
Immediately leaves the lobby. That's what happens. Maybe a little bit nervous after that. I would be too.
Mic drop. Just
that is
out.
The mic drop. So yep, now a 4-1 lead for GODFIELD Gaming. Now AG on the back foot, need to win the next 3 picks to force the tiebreaker, one of which going to have to be a break point, but first they have to win this pick, and I think their options in the pool are really starting to whittle down.
Yeah, again, same scenario, well, very similar scenario to what we saw in the last match up until now, you know, the going back and forth between these picks and letting up that 1 break point there. And now AG, they're in a bad scenario. In the last match, that breakpoint came very early, and picks were able to be traded back and forth for a couple bits there. And AG is going to end up going for the Nomod 5. So despite us maybe discussing the fact that they might only have a confident duo for this map, they still find it worth it to run in the Nomod 5. And honestly, I respect it. If you think that Wispy and Coda are confident enough to full combo this map, or almost full combo this map, this does make a lot of sense. And if, this is AR9 in the end, it is definitely more accessible as a quote unquote reading map in this pool than what anything else would be, especially at AR8. So it's more just the awkwardness of anything than it is the reading. With that being said, we have yet to see roll pan, and I keep asking to see roll pan, and I really hope we get a chance, please.
This is the type of map, maybe other than that hidden 2, which they banned, this is the type of map he would come in for. So come on, give it to us, GODFIELD Gaming. Bring in the roll pan.
AR9, though, again, the AR9 doesn't necessarily make this difficult to read. It just makes the aim feel very awkward. It's the density increase, right? It's not the reading. So you're really looking for players that are good at just being cognizant of where their aim is, right? You've always constantly got to be thinking about, where is my cursor? Where am I looking on my screen, and focusing up on this pick? And that's really where the skill set difference comes in. Oh, come on. It's fine, though. You know what? As sad as I am to not see roll pan in for this match so far, this roster has absolutely been working for GODFIELD Gaming so far, and I've got to hand it to them. They have been so strong.
Yeah, GODFIELD Gaming has been putting on a clinic for us so far in this match of how to defeat your opponent so far, up 4-1. AG now on the back foot, being forced to pick this. Pretty good roster in for them. Coda, Wispy, Flameseer, and Wempress. I know this especially is the type of map you wouldn't see Flameseer in for. Most certainly a more hard rock and DT-focused player, so we already see a break come out from Wempress.
Yeah, both of them not their primary skill set. Wempress very much so, being a faster-oriented player, and again, like you mentioned, Flameseer on not these density picks. There's a break from Wispy, who's actually struggling on this a heck of a lot more than I expected him to. I definitely thought Wispy was going to be a confident player on this, and honestly, a lot of that confidence was kind of confounded in the fact that AG picked this map, even though I think we've spent a lot of time talking about how they really don't have anyone besides Coda who is like really good at these reading style picks. So I'm not entirely sure where this pick is coming from right now, given their overall team performance outside of Coda.
Oh, we got a full combo reset. Only Coda left. Now you talk about it being only Coda, and that might be enough as Rikuima breaks as well. There is no combos left on GODFIELD Gaming. That is a full combo reset. Now Coda alone with the big combo with Wempress on a reestablished combo. They're going to quickly take the lead back. And as long as Coda and Wempress can hold, they're going to start to get a pretty sizable lead on this. Oh, but Coda breaks on a slider. That is not what you want to see now. Wempress, with the backing combos there from Flameseer and Wispy, the combos from GODFIELD Gaming have started to sprout back up, so they're going to start to be in contention for this map once again if the big combos do break on the side of AG.
Coda has a big lead on that accuracy right now. We weren't entirely wrong. This map is definitely something that Coda is going to have to perform well on. Luckily for them, Wempress comboing through this relatively easier section of the map right now, and this is good because he had a combo before Wispy breaks on absolutely nothing. That is going to slow their score gain to an absolute crawl as all four players.
There's
a double break! Oh no!
Now, 3 big combos for GODFIELD Gaming. Coda trying to do what he can to pick up the pieces, but 500 combo on both Pop Art Town and Autoline. Varvalian had one and he did break, but the lead has already gone back in their favor in the last quarter of the map here. Pop Art Town and Autoline, if they can hold for just a little bit longer, they should be able to squash the efforts of Coda and Wispy to try and take this back in favor of AG.
They cannot break, though. It's so close between these two teams. About 40,000 score in the difference. Coda has a 500 combo here. Wispy, Flameseer, 500 between them. Wempress chain missing is going to slow that down, and there goes Coda as well. They're falling apart.
I think that just might be it. You can't really do anything anymore if you're AG. GODFIELD Gaming, you could call it in their favor just about now. Looks like they're going to be victorious over AG. by the score, 5-1, just a little bit left in this map. Autolean and Pop Art Town with the massive combos nearing 900. They might just be able to reach that 4-digit combo mark by the ending, but that lead is so far in their favor. 200k on Nomod, only 30 seconds left in the map. It's going to be a GG well played for this Japanese roster.
And a little bit of a client break on Tichy there at the ending, but we'll assume they finished with the score that we last saw on screen here, and that was a very confident victory in the end from GODFIELD Gaming on that pick. Well done. It was a 573,000 score for Pop Art Town at the ending there, so again, another 500,000 plus for them. Just not quite the matchup that AG was kind of prepared for here. You know, they didn't have much information on GODFIELD Gaming going into this, especially with their first win being a forfeit win, but they're as strong in practice as they looked on paper, and GODFIELD Gaming takes a very confident win, 5-1.
And you know, you mentioned information. I'd like to just throw back to a point I said before the match, in that the Japanese tournament player base does not very often go into these big international tournament settings. But when they do, they come as a group, and they just always show why they are so strong, why they in the past have reached very high up in OWC, and why they could probably go pretty far in this tournament. 5-1 in the round robin stage, nothing to scoff at. Going to be a quite dominant victory that I think never really came into question.
Yeah, not at all. They looked good coming into it, and they looked good into the ending. GODFIELD Gaming living up to their name. GG for them. I had to make it at least once. I'm sorry. AG is going
crazy.
Yeah. AG going to be starting off 0-1. Unfortunately, luckily for them, they do have more matches to come. We wish them the best of luck in their future endeavors. GG going to be starting off with a 2-0 scoreline. We are not done for today. Of course, we have so many more matches coming up remaining for you on the day. We have a little bit of a short break before our next match, which is going to be at 17 UTC. So you got about 14 minutes in between. Don't go anywhere. We will be right back. Take care.